Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley. This is Madden 18 on EA Sports. There will be plenty of pressure on a pair of safeties who will be counted on to make some big plays. It's the Vikings going up against the Eagles. With that, it's time to hook up with our commentators in the booth as we turn it over to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Larry, thank you. We are just off I-95 at the home of the Eagles, Lincoln Financial Field on the south side of Philadelphia. The scene in South Philly a few moments ago. Boy, the city of brotherly love is fired up. They're saying, "Fly, Eagles, fly," as they get ready to match up with the Minnesota Vikings. And a welcome in, everybody, with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, and Charles, so much gets made about offensive comparisons. Here's a matchup where the defenses may just take center stage.
Yeah, we're usually talking about guys scoring touchdowns. How about the guys who prevent them and change the momentum of the game when they take the ball away? I love those ball hawks in the secondary. People after my own heart.
Here's the kicker, Jake Elliott, ready to get this one started. And off we go from Lincoln Financial Field. Minnesota Vikings, here comes the offense. Now, they'll have to face a much improved New Orleans defense. Now, they saw New Orleans in week 1, Charles, but this quarterback, Case Keenum, it wasn't him that started that game. That was Sam Bradford, remember?
It was, and here's where it's interesting. Sam Bradford was a monster in that game against New Orleans. Threw for big yardage, pinpoint accuracy. Looked like this offense was really going to elevate under him, but he hurt his knee. Never the same after that. Case Keenum took over, and the offense morphed and changed to fit Case Keenum's style. A little more movement, bootlegs, no quarterback run game, but just moving him out of the pocket to get him some sight lines. Be interesting to see what Case Keenum does against a much better New Orleans defense this time around as they try and win a playoff game at home.
A gain of 3, second down. Well, let's take a look here at the offense for Minnesota.
When I see Latavius Murray with the ball in his hands, I think that he's a dangerous player. He has good speed, good presence to run inside, nice toughness, and good vision that once he gets past the first line of defense, he can make a guy miss and turn it into a bigger game.
7 yards to go on second down. From the gun, it's Keenum. And his throw is incomplete. Latavius Murray, the intended receiver, out of the backfield. And that'll make it third down. The defensive unit for Philly here, a group that gave up only 79.2 rushing yards per game, best in the league.
And so many people look at how they play defense, their style, that wide 9 that they call it, meaning the defensive ends are out wider than normal. Looks like there's a lot of space to run the ball, doesn't there? But they've got 2 tackles in Tim Jernigan and Fletcher Cox that eat up a lot of space, and they bring the linebackers a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage, so it's a lot harder to run the ball. In fact, they were number 1 in the league against the run in 2017, and they will get tested by the Atlanta Falcons, Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman. This defense...
Eagle pressure, too much this time. Down he goes. Timmy Jernigan in there to drop him for a loss of 10, and it'll be 4th and long.
Well, the beauty of screen passes is they take a little time to develop, and they can often hit big, but sometimes they take too long to develop, and sometimes you get sacked.
Yeah, what's perfectly called for a defense to attack a screen?
Typically a blitz, and even though people think that the screen operates against the blitz, if you have the blitz called and you still cover the screen, now that allows your blitzers to get there.
So on 4th down, here's Ryan Quigley now to kick this one away. Fielded just inside the 30. That'll be a 50-yard punt with 8 on the return. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. Eagles offense trotting out there. Nick Foles, the quarterback. Everyone knows the story. Carson Wentz hurt against Los Angeles back on December 10th. Now Foles 2-1 as a starter since. Now he takes them into the playoffs, hosting Atlanta. How do you think he does?
Well, he had the 4-touchdown game in his first start against the Giants this season and looked like, okay, it's going to be not seamless, but the Eagles felt pretty good about it. But, boy, what a tough time in the next 2 ball games. One of them against Oakland, one of them against Dallas. And I've heard this. His last 15 third downs that he's quarterbacked, they're 0 for 15 on third down. That's got to change if the Eagles expect to advance in the playoffs. He's got experience. He's been a starter in the league. He's been to the Pro Bowl. He's got to play to that level.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. For Ajayi, he's had 7 games so far this year with the Eagles. How key is he going to be with Nick Foles, the quarterback, instead of Carson Wentz in this playoff push?
He'll be a monster key in this one, and he'll be part of what I think is going to be a 3-headed monster that they'll use in the backfield in the playoffs. Jay Ajayi, he's going to be the sprinter type guy, can create the big plays. Garrett Blount, he's that guy just moves the ball between the guards and the tackles. And Corey Clement, he's kind of a do-it-all type of a player, an undrafted free agent out of Wisconsin. But Ajayi, if he can get a few big sprints in and open things up for his offense, yeah, he could be the guy that could carry them deep in the playoffs.
And the Vikings with an extra defender in the secondary on 3rd.
Playing coverage here.
Now Foles. And that is incomplete.
And that's a great opening series defensively. You force what should be a 3-and-out on your opening possession.
And great coverage there on 3rd down to force the incompletion to set up 4th. So on 4th down, here's the veteran left-footed punter Donnie Jones to kick it away. Marcus Sherrill's back deep for Minnesota. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. And the Vikings now heading on to the field. And a 3-and-out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out with a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive?
Sometimes it absolutely serves that way. You get a second opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go.
They begin the drive with a run by Murray. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. And a nice carry there of 15 yards.
You and I both know that you don't really truly replace Adrian Peterson, but Latavius Murray is a really good back. Similar running styles, too. Won't wear the same number, we know that. But when you see him run, you might see a little bit of that in him, upright with some power.
So the run gets them the first, and now they operate with a fresh set of downs. Again, it's Murray. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and no more. No gain on the play there, 2nd down. And if you're the defense and those D tackles, you like that they're trying to run the football here against your 4-3, don't you?
Yeah, because they tend to eat things up because they are so strong and physical, and especially when they play with leverage where they get lower than the offensive linemen and control them. And what I love about the good defensive tackles, they can play over the guards, they can slide and play over the center. Nobody in the offense likes that day when they have to deal with those guys.
And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Big boys down there in the trenches, and a nice play to stop them cold. Nothing there.
Yeah, when you talk about big boys, you're talking about those defensive tackles, those nose tackles. They're not just big, they're immense. And what a big-time play there.
Play action. Now it's Keenum. Lets it fly for Thielen. And incomplete. He can't hang on. Would have been a nice catch. Instead, it brings up a 4th down.
This defense is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. It came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
Here's Ryan Quigley now, as he'll punt it away for the second time. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. Here comes Eagle offense now as they get set to take over here. And the first drive, 3 and out. Second possession, see if they can get a little momentum.
And oftentimes that first drive is just a feeling out process. You have some plays that you've got called and you want to see how defense reacts. It may not go terrific on the first one. Now they're ready to go. They've kind of got to look at them, got a sense. Let's see if they open things up a little bit.
See if they open things up. Let's see what the defense does here, too, after a good stop. Here's a handoff to Ajayi to begin the drive. And he will lose yardage on the play. Back at his own 19-yard line. So now 11 yards to go for this offensive unit. It's second down. They run again with Ajayi. And I think we've got a hold here. It's a 5-yard pickup for the moment. Let's see what our referee says. That one whistled against a big right tackle.
You'd think being able to fire out and block, it'd be a lot easier to not commit a holding penalty, but it's tough to keep those guys right in front, isn't it?
They stay on the ground. Again, it's Ajayi. And down he'll go at the 25. Give him 16 yards on the play. And just like that, it's third down.
It seemed like the situation was second and a mile to go for a first down, which screams what? Throw the football. You got to pass in order to try and pick up that kind of yardage. But in this case, they ran a tendency breaker because the tendency is for defenses to be out there and be set up for a pass. So you break tendency and actually run the football. That changes everything because if you're able to find a crease, you often have bigger guys working against smaller guys downfield. They picked up excellent yardage there to bring up a third down.
And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this third down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
Here's Donnie Jones now. On for his second punt. He'd take a repeat of his first. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Here's Sherrills. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Vikings will take over here, 1st and 10. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And this is their third drive. Maybe the focus right now not so much on points, but getting their first down. And when you start off a game, you don't even think that's an issue, do you? But you go a drive, a second drive, no first down, that becomes an issue. Now you got to think about, okay, what type of play calling do I have to do to get us in a spot to pick that first one up? Throwing on first down is Keenum. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Carter. And he's going to be out of bounds at the 39. 15 yards there on the catch and run.
I like how they work the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not even going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
Play fake here on first down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Brandon Graham. He's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stains, no dirt, nothing on it, but it's really, really difficult. You're talking about some terrific athletes who are trying to put him on the ground.
That was second down run for Murray. And he'll slip his way up across the 30 to the 32. They get 2 yards back, but they're going to need a lot more than that here on third down.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
Third and long, it's Keenum. And he couldn't hang on. Almost an interception there defensively. Instead, it brings up fourth.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense that fell harmlessly to the ground. Here's Ryan Quigley now as he's on to punt for Minnesota. Here comes the pressure, and the Eagles get there to block it. And they will wind up with the football and the possession. And with points at an extreme premium here in a 0-0 game, that could be a big special teams play right there.
That's an advantage play. Someone create an advantage for their team, give them an opportunity, and special teams is usually a terrific starting point for that. Blocking the punt, now they've given themselves a chance and have seized momentum.
And out now come the Eagles. This is their third drive. Right now, maybe not about points, just about getting something. They haven't gotten a first down yet in this game.
It's a mental barrier you don't think about until you go a couple of drives without getting a first down. Then all of a sudden it looms big. It gets harder and harder to actually attain that first down.
Really nice starting field position here for the offensive unit. Foles. Now the pressure gets there, and he goes down just inside the 20 at the 19. Ben Gideon leading the surge there. He drops him for a loss of 6.
It's interesting, partner, that most defenses try and guard the 35-yard line actively because they think the way kickers are nowadays, about a 52-yard field goal, they're kind of giving up points. But you get even deeper into territory, you get into the red zone, they're going to guard it even more, which means more pressure, more blitzing.
Here's Foles. Jeffrey with a catch left side. And here he'll get it down to the 7. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a third down. He missed on his first 3 passes, was 0 for 3. Now gets a connection. Maybe that'll get him going.
Yeah, it wasn't a time for panic, but there was some concern because once you start in a certain pattern, You're wondering, can you get out of it? And that flips the other way, too, when you're throwing it really well. In this case, now he's got his first completion. They think he might be off to the races.
Back to throw. And that is, I think he caught it. He did, but they'll say out of bounds. It'll be incomplete.
They may be snapping the ball near the goal line, but all you're thinking defensively, keep them out of the end zone. Force the incompletion, force them into going for 3, and not giving up 6.
Now Jake Elliott for the field goal try. From the left hash, a chip shot here. And Elliott puts this one through. And the Eagles, they take a 3-0 lead. So this offensive unit, they've now had 3 drives, and they only have 3 points to show for it.
Payoff is the key for everything. How many offenses have we talked to that say we have to finish drives? Thus far, this team hasn't finished it quite the way they wanted to.
After the field goal, here's Elliott to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. First down, Keenum. Throw left side on target to Thielen. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. That's not only Adam Thielen, that's the Pro Bowler Adam Thielen, who had 91 catches this year and over 1,200 yards, a career high.
We always look for great stories when we do games. Is there a better one this season than Adam Thielen in terms of where he came from to make a Pro Bowl roster as a receiver for the Minnesota Vikings? Lightly recruited out of high school, ends up at Mankato State, which is now known as Minnesota State Mankato. Undrafted, goes to a rookie free agent tryout camp, hangs around, makes the practice squad. First he's a special teams guy, and now he's one of the better receivers in the league. I think it's one of the best stories I've heard in 2017 NFL. And you just know when that play call came in, their eyes lit up, because anytime you get a chance to take a big shot downfield, that's a lot of fun, and they missed an opportunity.
The Vikings on third down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. They'll run here. It's Murray. And I don't think he got there. No, they stop him right where it all started. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down.
I know it's the first half, but it's still hard to curb the enthusiasm for that stop. 3rd and 1, and the offense can't get there. The defensive team has got to feel very good about themselves. Great job out leveraging the offense.
Here's Ryan Quigley now. Remember, though, he did have one blocked earlier. And you can't do it much better than that. This ball kicks out of bounds at the 4-yard line. The Eagles offense back out onto the field. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
They'll start out on the ground with a J. And they'll get him down up past the 15. Trying to find some space to operate, and now they'll have it. A gain of 12, a big first down to get away from the end zone. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going and are controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards. I also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8. Time to show you the #1 overall defense in the National Football League. It's on the side of the Vikings. They're #2 against the run and #2 against the pass, but #1 overall.
Hard to move the football against them, no matter what you're trying to do, because they have the bulk up front against the run. They have the speed in the secondary and linebacker position. And how about Xavier Rhodes at corner? Harrison Smith at safety, both named to the All-Pro team, although Harrison Smith not named to the Pro Bowl team.
A lot of people thought that was a major snub.
Yeah, one of those oddities, and I talked with Harrison Smith about that, and you know what he told me?
What?
I don't even put it in my contract as a bonus because I don't trust the process of the Pro Bowl selection. But I didn't ask him if he put it in there for the All-Pro team, because if so, he'll cash in pretty well.
And all the way down to the 37. It's a big play there for the Eagles. 45 yards.
Well, that certainly looked like the Torrey Smith we knew in Baltimore. A guy can just run past defenses, and what do they say? Take the top right off of them.
Game-changing speed, and the days in Baltimore good, days in San Fran not so great, but now hoping to get back to his former self.
I would say they have an extremely motivated wide receiver in Torrey Smith.
Now it's a Jai. They find some open field here. And he'll snag about 5 yards down to the 32.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on first down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
See if they stay on the ground for 2nd down. They'll set up to throw. And down he goes. They sack him back right around the 41-yard line. Daniil Hunter. He's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack, you're really almost discrediting their work.
The Eagles on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 14. They'll set up a throw. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. 7 yards on the play, and that's going to make it 4th down. So we've played 1 quarter here on a Monday night. 3-0 is our score, and we're back to Philadelphia after this.
The NFL on EA Sports is presented by Snickers. You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
Back live with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's the Eagles with the ball here to begin quarter number 2. They are, however, facing a 4th down situation. And the first play will be a field goal try. On the right hash, officially, this will be a 51-yard attempt. And he missed it. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is.
Well, this winds up an empty possession. Everything looked okay. He just never got the ball on target. And knowing him, he'll be disappointed with that effort.
And now we move our focus to Stephon Diggs. A chance maybe here for them to get him more involved. They're down here on the scoreboard, and he's been very quiet.
And the silence has been deafening for his team. They don't need that at all. They need fireworks. They need explosive plays. They need him touching the football in any way possible. Maybe you go to some jet sweeps. Anything to get him going.
Yeah, something to get in the ball. We'll see if they can do it. And because they couldn't hit the long field goal, they are set up nicely offensively at the 41, 1st and 10. They go play action here on 1st down. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. They got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs.
As if he didn't have enough to think about on that route, the comeback route, coming back to the football and catching it, still had to make sure he toe-tapped and kept himself in bounds. And
that was spectacular, but on the comeback route, maybe a little easier to deal with the sideline since you've got better vision of it.
I think that's a great point because you should know exactly where you're going and know how much space you have and make sure you get your feet down. But, yeah, coming back to the football, I like it. Good vision.
And the coach has decided to challenge this play. He has tossed down the red flag. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action. On 1st down, Murray. And some space here. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
To throw on 2nd down is Keenum. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains. They'll run it now out of the gun. It's a 6-yard pickup, but it gets them to 2nd and 4.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
On 2nd down, here's Keenum. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Morgan. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch. And he'll be taken down near the 20 at the 21. It'll be called a gain of 2, and that'll leave them with some options here on 4th and inches.
I'll bet they thought they had picked that one up because it was a 3rd and 2 call. And they got awfully close. Now we're at 4th and inches. I wonder if they think they're feeling lucky here and maybe want to go pick it up.
On now is Kai Forbath to try the field goal. From the right hash, it's a 38-yard attempt. And Forbath will put this one through, and that will tie us at 3-3. So a little fortunate there because that one was definitely leaking right.
Without a doubt, maybe about the width of a football or so inside that right upright, but he got it to go.
So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. The Eagles coming out as they get ready. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
The play fake. He'll look to throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Nelson Aguilar, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up second down.
Well, hey, that gives us a second here to sneak into discussion about fantasy football players who won championships, giving back maybe to the players that helped them win that championship. So Todd Gurley has a great week 15 and 16, and it started where people are actually donating money to Todd Gurley's charity, and over 10 grand has gone to his Shriners charity.
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic concept, and wherever it came from, a lot of it is just in the spirit of helping others, you know? So, hey, I won my league. This player did this to help me. Let me donate to his charity of choice, help some others who can't help themselves. It did not hurt that this really sprang up around the holiday season. You know, that spirit of giving. And now a lot of players who help contribute to people winning championships, I think they'll see a little bit extra in their charity causes kitty when the whole thing is done.
The Eagles on third down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This is going to be 3rd and 13. He'll look to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
Well, no second guessing the call here. It was 3rd and long, so throwing the football was probably the smart play to try and pick it up. But they don't get it, and now the defense goes off the field feeling pretty good about themselves, gaining some momentum as they force them into a likely punting situation.
Here's Donnie Jones now as he's on to punt for Philadelphia. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. So a change of possession here on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively.
Let's go.
Here's Murray now as they run it to start the drive. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
Keenum to throw on second down. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be third down.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
The Vikings on third down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this up to about the 38-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave them with a 4th down.
I know they want to go for it here, and I know that their fans want them to go for it, but listen, I'm going to play head coach right here and look at the facts. Tie game. Plus, even if you get the first, you still got a half a field to go. I'll go ahead and punt the football myself.
Here's Ryan Quigley now as he's on to punt for Minnesota. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And did they keep it in? They did. They kept it in. It's down close to the goal line at the 1-yard line. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
And tough starting field position here. They'll begin the drive with Ajayi. Ajayi's gonna go. He's at the 50. And all the way down to the 42. A big play there for Philly. 57 yards. Nothing fancy there, a little smash-mouth football right up the gut on the dive, and it turns into a huge play.
You talk about the fastest way to the secondary. Right up the gut as you described, and sprinted into the secondary for a long, long run.
Now a first carry for LeGarrette Blount. There he goes inside the 30. LeGarrette Blount, touchdown! Philadelphia. LeGarrette Blount, 42 yards. And the Eagles are able to cash it in for 6. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
On for the extra point, Jake Elliott. And it is up. And it's good. That'll make our score 10-3 now. So 2 plays on that scoring drive. That's how they drew it up. And a long run into the end zone, and what a run it was. Elliott now to kick this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. And our attention here turns to Latavius Murray. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call it in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Nice job by the defensive front there to hold him to a short gain on first down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run. On second down, here's Keenum. Looking left side, it's complete. He's got it. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue. Keenum now on first down. And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Well, let's see who this is on. So flag for the contact, pass interference.
And I know that you're going to look at me and roll your eyes, and rightfully so, because you know what I'm going to say. Doesn't the defender have a right to the football as well?
No, I don't like defenders.
That's because you spend too much time with me. Okay, I'll side with you on this one. This is the correct call.
So the offense has it 1st and 10. Following the penalty, it's Murray. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. Well, a well-executed blitz, no doubt. Great job by the linebacker. Maybe the quarterback, if he could have seen that, could have audibled there.
Yeah, he needed to be in a different play because that one just meshed perfectly for the defense. All the gaps were filled except for the one the offense really wanted to run through, and that was filled by a big man wanting to make a tackle.
And he made a great tackle. Now Keenum throwing on second. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
But that's what you're looking for when you're wanting to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
From the red zone, it's Keenum. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a 1st down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
Now we've got movement up front, and I think this is going to be on Minnesota.
False start, offense.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5.
Still 1st down.
So now it's 1st and goal. Keenum now to throw. That is caught at the 7-yard line. That'll bring up 2nd and goal after the gain of 5. Now a give, left side. This is Murray. And he'll just get back to the line of scrimmage, if that. And with a flag on the field. And that one looks to be in the area where someone was held. That hold coming from the middle of the line, the center.
And it's difficult for him because sometimes you've got people right over you, and as soon as you snap it, trying to get your hands up and block them, you can be a little bit late getting it done.
Now we've got movement up front, and I think this is going to be on Minnesota.
False start, offense. Still 2nd down.
Now McKinnon. And they'll get him down right about the 20. Only a yard there, and that'll bring us to 3rd and goal.
The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position.
On 3rd and long, it's Keenum. A dump down to McKinnon. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. They are able to get 9 yards out of that, but now it's 4th down. And for the 2nd time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. 2 minutes to play here in the 1st half. We'll come back to Philadelphia after this. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll hand you off to Orlando, where Larry Ridley will have highlights and analysis of this 1st half of action. And for the 2nd time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. And Forbath will put this one through. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. So 3 points is the outcome, but probably not what they're looking for given the drive that they were on.
Yeah, things were looking good. You had it 1st and goal, but then the offense sputters a bit, and they're forced to settle for a field goal.
Forbath now to kick it away after the made field goal. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Eagles offense now gets set to head back onto the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away incomplete. Now that'll bring up second down.
Okay, CD, let's move to something different here real quick. Want to get your thoughts on New Orleans, Minnesota, that matchup in the playoffs this weekend?
I'm fired up about this one. In Minnesota, luckily there's a dome, so everyone will be warm. But the obvious is New Orleans offense, we know about it. Minnesota's defense, we know they're dominant. But flip it over, and both sides have strengths as well. You talk about New Orleans' defense has really played well throughout the year, and Minnesota's offense, led by Case Keenum, they put up big points. But here's the kicker to this. These two teams met in the season opener this year. Neither should watch the game film. In fact, I talked to Harrison Smith, the all-pro safety from Minnesota, and I said, hey, if you meet up with New Orleans again, he said, won't even bother with that film because they are no longer the team that we dominated in that opener.
Yeah, remember, Adrian Peterson, Dalvin Cook, Sam Bradford all played in that opener, and they won't be a part of this game. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. So the defense had a chance to catch their breath, and now they're back out and ready. Here's Donnie Jones now. He's been terrific so far. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. Sherrills to return it. A 46-yard boot, but just 36 following a pretty decent return of 10 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And out now come the Vikings. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point.
The kicker.
Exactly. You put it through the post. That's going to help him in contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about that.
Toe bashed it.
Super toe.
On first down, it's Keenum. Pressure comes, and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack. Timmy Jernigan in there to get him for his second sack of the night.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. Here's Keenum now on second down. And Rudolph has it, the tight end. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this third and long play as we'll get a timeout. As he'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. And welcome back. The offensive unit, they took the timeout. And now they get set to line up as we resume action. The Vikings on third down, as bad as you can be, 0 for 7 thus far. This is third down and 12.
Green 39, Green
Here's McKinnon. And an alley to run. And the Eagles are going to go ahead and take another timeout. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. The defense, they got a little bit of a breather. Now they're back and set as we resume play. Here's Ryan Quigley now as he's on to punt for Minnesota. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. Alshon Jeffrey working his way back out there now to help lead this offense. Second quarter here, he has only 1 catch, but they have the lead. You got to think there's going to be more involved at some point.
That's what you would expect, but sometimes what defenses do to take away a player of his magnitude, it costs them in other areas. And right now, with them losing, they may have to change their focus, and maybe he will open up a little bit more as the game goes on.
Yeah, well, so far, just the single catch. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. And a nice gain at 21 yards.
In recent years, the slot receivers really gained stature in the NFL because they can do so many things. Yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but to have that kind of courage and toughness to run routes in the middle of the field and become dependable targets for their quarterbacks and move the sticks, those guys are worth their weight in gold.
The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. He's going to sling this deep downfield. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield. But that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
Now Foles. Throws right side, and that's complete. Touchdown, Philadelphia. A big play there in the final seconds of the first half. And the Eagles had 6 to their lead.
And that's a lead that excites a team as they head into the half. Good way to finish things off.
Yeah, able to extend that lead, and you always say it, that can totally change the complexion of half number 2.
Yeah, it changes your morale, changes your outlook. But even before that, let's see if they decide to kind of squib kick or what they're going to do on the kickoff, because you don't want to give up a big play right before the half ends.
Good point. Elliott now to add the extra point. It's good, and now it's an 11-point lead, 17-6. So the drive there, they went 80 yards in 3 plays. And it was capped off by an Eagles touchdown. Elliott now to kick this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. Pretty move. Oh, now he bowls him over. So we've come to halftime here in Philly with the Eagles on top as we send you down to Orlando where we check in with Larry Ridley and our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Larry.
Thanks, Brandon. I'm Larry Ridley, and welcome to our EA Halftime Report. The Eagles are happy to be in front right now and just want to play 2 more solid quarters. The Vikings just want to come out after the half and claw their way back into the game. All right, let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half. 3rd and 7. Jernigan's going to take down the QB here. This will go as a loss of 10. Hit to late in the first. Hunter's got the sack here. This goes for a loss of 9. Eagles with the ball midway through the second. Blunt's going to break into the secondary, and he'll win the sprint to the end zone. Eagles up by a touchdown. Eagles with the ball, final seconds of the half. Broken coverage here on the pass play, and he's going to go 59 yards for the score. That'll do it from our EA Sports Studios. Let's send it back up to Brandon and Charles in Philadelphia.
Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Out come the Eagles now as they'll go on offense first here in the 3rd quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. They run with Ajayi, and he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Now it's 2nd and 7. This is Ajayi. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
Well, that last run makes this a 100-yard night. I've loved the way he's hit the holes. He's been quick, he's been decisive, and he's been a whole lot of fun to watch.
So they pick up the first down after the run, and now they approach for the fresh set. Now a play fake here on first down. Gonna look deep for Jeffrey. And it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, 2nd down.
Brandon, it looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion. Second down here after the incomplete pass. They're going to look to throw. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. A gain of 4 on the play, and that'll lead here to a third down. The Eagles on third down. They're struggling. 0 for 6 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. On play action, they'll throw. And that's caught by Smith. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Fresh set of downs here. He'll run it here with Blunt. And he'll get down to about the 26-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short.
So under the category of, while it can't be us because we're not that good, but could you imagine if this was you? LeGarrette Blunt, his first 1,000-yard season since, what, 2010, his rookie year, and 18 touchdowns in the regular season, and no longer with New England.
He is over 30 now. He turned 30 in December. I don't know if that played a factor, but, yeah, such a productive year, and then he's gone.
Well, that just tells you this. Now he's going to be playing with a chip on his shoulder trying to prove something.
Foles. And it's incomplete.
Everything about that play tells you about today's NFL offenses and what they're asking out of running backs. You can't just be a guy who can run the football. You have to be able to catch it as well, and he didn't get that done on that play.
The Eagles on third down. It's been a problem. Just 1 for 7 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Here's Ajayi. Down right around the 25. He needed 2. He got 1, and that's going to leave him with 4th down and a yard.
Well, they picked up a portion of it, but not all that they needed. Now that leads to a decision on 4th and 1. Let's see what they decide to do.
Now Jake Elliott for the field goal try. This from 42 yards out. And the kick by Elliott is good. And that will extend their lead even further. So no problems there with that one as they're able to put 3 up on the board.
Yeah, it's pretty much a winless night. There's only a very light breeze, so it's a perfect night for kickers. And like you say, no problems with that one.
After the field goal, here's Elliott to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. Well, some might have returned that one. He won't. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start the drive from the 25. And the focus of our players' spotlight right now is shining on Case Keenum. And maybe he's starting to wave the white flag a little bit. He's playing pretty well, but the pressure, it's got to him.
Has to find a way to step around it, step through it, or just handle it. Because, as you mentioned, he's having a pretty good day overall. Just the hits keep coming and taking those sacks. That's not the way that they want to finish a ball game with their quarterback on the ground so much.
Now, he'd like to stay upright. When he's been upright, he's been pretty good. Now a first down throw. Keenum. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down. Well, partner, let's step to the side for a minute here. Take a peek ahead to this week's divisional round game. You got Tennessee and New England. That's the late game Saturday night. Didn't play this year, but the Patriots have beaten them the last 6 times they have played.
And the focus, of course, will be on the quarterbacks. I mean, Tom Brady's played at what many people think is an MVP level in 2017 during the season. And Marcus Mariota didn't have that type of a year, but the first playoff game, we saw the Marcus Mariota we expected to see. But to me, for Tennessee to win this game, running back Derrick Henry, 30 carries. Needs to be around 125 to 150 yards. If so, Tennessee has a chance to beat New England.
So the ground game's the key.
The ground game's the key because it keeps Brady on the bench and keeps Tennessee in control of the football.
Throwing on third down, Keenum. And he's able to find Diggs. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
Handoff. It's Murray. And very little room to maneuver. He'll get this down to about the 39. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. They go with Murray again. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
Now a give. This is Murray. And he's going to take this one down inside the 45. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
And here comes play number 6 on this drive. Now a play fake, and it's Keenum. Lets it fly for Thielen. A battle for it, and it's intercepted. Picked off by a former first-round pick, Patrick Robinson.
That was a really nice interception. I think it illustrates the differences between playing man and playing zone. When you're in man, all you're focused on is the receiver in front of you. But when you're in zone, you're allowed to read the quarterback's eyes and go to the ball. That's exactly what happened on that play.
A chance for us now to discuss Jay Ajayi. And we have seen a decline in the numbers. Where does the fault lie? Just him? Maybe the guys up front? Combination?
Well, as you and I both know, it's almost always a collective deal. But in this case, I think maybe the offensive line got a little overconfident. They had blocked so well in the first half, picked up on what the defense was doing. I think we've seen an adjustment now that they have not picked up on, and now they're being a little bit overwhelmed.
Looks like the defense in press coverage here. Here's Foles. And this turns into disaster. He's not going to get forward progress. That'll be a safety. And you know, the man who sat in my chair the last few years, he has a theory. These plays, these safeties, they're so rare. Maybe they should be worth more than 2, maybe 4 points.
I think he's got a great point. I really do, Brandon. But I would go ahead and up it to 6. I'm a former defender. Ooh. To me, that's like scoring a touchdown.
Easy now. I'll go 4. I don't know about 6.
Come on. Come up to 6.
A lot of points. After the safety, remember, they also need to give up the football, and here's the free kick. This is taken at the 15. And now out comes Minnesota. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
They'll try and get the running game going here with Murray. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
And the offense behind the chains here, a touch on 2nd and 11. They run again with Murray. He's seen a ton of action tonight. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
Well, partner, I guess sometimes it's just a matter of philosophy. Some say run until they absolutely stop you, and others say, well, when you think they're about to stop you, fool them a little bit. I guess they should have tried to fool them on that play.
The Vikings on 3rd down. A pretty anemic, a very anemic 1 for 9 thus far. This is going to be 3rd and 13. A shotgun snap for Keenum. And Rudolph has it left side. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he could scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
Here's Ryan Quigley now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. Averaging 50 yards a boot so far as this one's away. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. Nick Foles gearing up again here to go on offense. How do you break down his game so far? Just the 1 touchdown pass, but sometimes the touchdown pass stat category, that doesn't tell the whole story.
It really doesn't. Not until you balance it with the error side. You know, and in this case, he hasn't thrown any interceptions. So a lot of people would call this almost a pedestrian game, kind of a bus driver game. But that's just really wrong. Being a bus driver is a good thing if you're running a football team, because that means you're in control and you're taking your team to the right places.
Yeah, he's been pretty solid. They go play action here on 1st down. Going up top. They've got his man complete. And all the way down to the 40-yard line. It's a big play there for the Eagles. And even 40 yards. So the defense blitzed. A nice job picking that up, completing the pass.
And how in sync was the quarterback in his center on that play? They saw the blitz, made the appropriate calls, got the line engaged because now they know there are going to be extra guys coming at the quarterback, so they got their assignments down pat and kept them away from him, and he's able to step up in the pocket and fire one now for a really good strike.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down.
And that's one of the few times they've been able to contain him. He's had a heck of a game, and maybe he's getting a little bit tired from how many times he's carried the ball. But I always think back to what all those old coaches say. The ball's not that heavy. Keep carrying it, kid.
So 2nd and 10 here. They'll look to throw here. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Holding offense.
So apparently some grabbing of the jersey there on the O-line.
Yeah, just look in the interior, and that's where the penalty occurred.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be brought down inside the 45 at the 43. And that gets back some of what they needed, but they're still stuck here with a 3rd and 13.
Well, this play sequence was really kind of called in reverse. Incomplete pass on 1st and 10. Nice run on 2nd and 10 when probably everyone was expecting them to throw the football. Now, if you're the defense, what are they going to do on 3rd down? You're a little off balance.
The Eagles on 3rd down. Just 1 conversion and 8 tries. Not good. This is going to be 3rd and 13. They'll set up to throw. And that is incomplete.
Let's face it, perfection is something we all chase, whether it's playing this game or whatever we do. Hard to attain, but that's what they were searching for as that pass goes incomplete.
Here's Donnie Jones now as he'll come on for his 5th kick of the night. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Keenum now on 1st down. Over the middle here to Rudolph. And they'll get him down here at the 23. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
It's vitally important to wrap him up immediately because if you let that big guy get a head of steam up, boy, then you've got real trouble trying to get him down.
But they're able to hold him to a short gain on 1st down. 6 yards here to go for the offense on 2nd down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this one up to the 26. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on 3rd down? The Vikings on third down. Not getting the job done at all. A very poor 1 for 10. This time it's 3rd and 3.
Here we go now. Green 39.
A run. It's Murray. And he'll be brought down, but a tip of the cap on the spin move as that gives him a first down. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
We all love to have a home run hitter in the backfield. Guy can take it the distance. But in short yardage, trying to pick up first downs, that big guy, always a nice luxury to have, isn't he?
And a new set of downs here after picking up the first on the ground. One quarter remains here as we wrap up the week on a Monday night. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And welcome back. We are in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. It's the Vikings in possession of the football, but they need some points. They're trailing here to start the fourth. First down, Keenum finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
Well, when you're leading in the fourth quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
First down and 10 now for the offensive group. A 20th carry coming up now for Murray. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's brought down. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down.
But last year, I'm not sure we saw very many of those runs, did we, from the Vikings? I mean, they had the poorest rushing attack in the league.
Just 75 yards per game, but carries like the one we just saw, that'll help bolster that average.
Yeah, certainly, and they tried to beef up the offensive line in the offseason, brought in Latavius Murray, and then drafted Dalvin Cook out of Florida State.
And the next snap coming inside the red zone here. From the red zone now, Keenum. And his throw here's incomplete. Stephon Diggs, his intended receiver. That'll bring up 2nd down.
What a job by this defense all game long. They've come together and really said, no one's crossing our goal line, and they're definitely not going to start right now.
You can just see the dejection. Feel like nothing is working offensively. Here's Murray, able to fight for about 4 yards there to the 13.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable third down because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
The Vikings on third down. They've converted just twice and have had plenty of opportunities. This will be 3rd and 6.
Encroachment, defense.
Jumpy on the right side of the line.
Sometimes when you're on the end, a little bit farther away from the ball, any type of movement will get you to jump, and that's exactly what happened there.
The Vikings on third down. They've converted just twice and have had plenty of opportunities. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. Back to throw, Keenum. The quick slant caught. Give him a gain of 4, able to convert, and that sets up 1st and goal now. And in a 2-score game, obviously, every play, every third down, like we saw there, magnified, big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to third down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
And the offense in a great spot. It's 1st and goal from the 3.
Here we go. 3-19.
Now they'll run. Murray. And the D not yielding much there. He's only going to get a yard to about the 2. Good first step there defensively, but they're still knocking on the doorstep, so maybe another run here?
I think so. One of my favorite coaches used to say, son, if you could darn near lay down near the end zone and get in, give me my best power running play with my best back right now.
Here we go. Green, 39.
2nd and goal from the 2-yard line. McKinnon. And he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. Jerick McKinnon taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Vikings are able to make this a close game again.
I wonder if he changed anything on his play sheet or they just executed better. Because they had 2 previous drives that ended in field goals. Before this one, they finally were able to put into the end zone.
Well, whatever he did, speaking of the offensive coordinator, might be using that formula going forward. It worked there.
Yeah, it worked very well. He and his field general in pretty good sync right now. They're starting to move the ball well.
So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive. And it's culminated by a 2-yard touchdown run. Forbath out to kick this one away. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. Now Philadelphia ready to get going on offense again. Certainly want to avoid what they had to do last possession. That was punt the football, because this game's starting to tighten up.
In a basketball sense, you think about taking a little bit of the air out of the ball, right? Maybe milk some clock, limit the possessions. In this case, they might want to do the same thing, but control the game offensively. Put together some first downs, put together a drive, and keep it away from them.
Now a handoff looking right. And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Brandon, it's all about pace and tempo now for them. They've got the advantage, so I'm going to put musical terms for you. You don't want to go prestissimo. That's too quick, too lively, right? But you also don't want to slow it down too much. You don't want to go lento. What you really want to be is moderato. Nice and even, nice and steady, get those gains, and close out the game.
I think that chicken parm from last night's gone to your head. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. A nice pick up there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
So the run moves the chains, and here we go on first down. He'll drop to throw. Smith catches left side. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
They completed the screen on the perimeter, but boy, that was textbook defense. Exactly as you're taught to play against a wide receiver screen, and they snuffed it out for a loss of yardage.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's third down.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry? Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of, otherwise he was going to get sacked.
The Eagles on third down. A very anemic, 1 for 9 thus far. This is going to be 3rd and 13. He'll look to throw. And he overshot him there. It's out of bounds, incomplete.
Let's face it, you can run the route tree as many times as you want, get in sync, practice it, do all those things. But once you get to game speed, it doesn't always time up quite that well. That one goes incomplete.
Here's Donnie Jones now, as he'll come on to kick for a 6th time tonight. And great special teams work here. This is knocking on the door of the 5. They'll spot it at the 6-yard line. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. And things are starting to move in the right direction. They get the touchdown last drive, then their defense gets them the football back.
Yeah, now they have a chance to get the lead if they can put something together here. I'm eager to see how they decide to do it. Do they want to be methodical, or do they want to take the big strike and go after it right now?
And not great starting field position here for the offense. Play action. Now it's Keenum. Going deep for Diggs. He's got a man. Complete. And he'll be taken down just shy of the 40. An excellent pickup of 34 yards. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
Throwing on first down is Keenum. And this one hauled in by Rudolph. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Keenum now on first down. Throw left side on target to Thielen. And he takes it all the way down to the 3. A big play there for Minnesota. 45 yards. This offense can certainly move quickly when they want to. 3 plays, 3 pass completions. In the blink of an eye, they've got a 1st and goal.
Almost felt like a lightning bolt hit in this game, didn't it? For them to get downfield that quickly. And now 1st and goal, expect them to attack right here on this play.
First and goal at the 3-yard line now. They'll try to run it in with Murray. And he'll keep working toward that end zone as he's down to about the 2-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal. Looking at this now, you got a couple more cracks here this close. Sneak it.
I don't think you even go into a huddle. Just line up, snap it, and fall in behind those guys into the end zone.
Again, it's Murray. And after the good gain last play, this time they say, as he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage. So he loses 3 yards there. Now 3rd down.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
Now from back at the 5, this is 3rd and goal. 1 receiver left, 3 to the right. Keenum now on 3rd and goal. Oh, it's a touchdown if he holds on. Instead, it's 4th down.
So many offenses want to include their running backs into their passing offense and be able to swing the ball out or check it down to them. But sometimes those guys are just not as comfortable catching the ball as they are running it.
Likely the play of the game here, trailing in the final quarter and going for it on 4th and goal. Now we've got movement up front, and I think this is going to be on Minnesota.
False start, offense.
The crowd's not doing that O-line any favors.
Home field advantage is really kicking in, making it very difficult for them to hear the snap count.
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. And Forbath will put this one through, and the drive will wind up yielding 3. All right, so this one's now back within a field goal, and if anybody tells you they see how this one's going to end, I'd have to say they're probably lying, Charles.
And this game's had more twists and turns than a good mystery novel, and I have a feeling we've got a few more twists and turns in store for us before they shake hands here.
Forbath now to kick it away after the made field goal. Fielded about a yard deep. Nick Foles gearing up again here to go on offense. And the passing game, I mean, look at the numbers. It's fallen off. When a team is struggling, sometimes you look at the quarterback. When the quarterback starts to struggle, who goes over and picks him up?
Yeah, that's always a big one, isn't it? Usually, there's a quarterback whisperer somewhere. And what I mean by that is, whether it's an assistant coach, whether it's one of his best friends on the team, someone that can get in his ear, get with him and say, all right, well, man, what do you need? What's going on here? So there's one person he can lean on. He's going to have to lean on that guy right now.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Tom Johnson coming up the middle, gets him there for a loss of about 9.
Brandon, more often than not, you'd say they've had his number, and we can count them up so far. 1, 2, 3, 4 sacks given up. But guess what? He's still been able to make some plays, and right now they have a lead.
As they run the counter play. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of 1, and they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they'll bring him down here up at about the 22-yard line. It'll be a gain of 4, but it won't be enough. It leaves them with a 4th down now.
I like what they were thinking on defense. Just guard the first down sticks. Don't let anyone pass that. Didn't matter whether they threw it or ran it. They just ended up rallying to the football in the running play and stopped them short of a first down.
Here's Donnie Jones now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. And the Vikings now heading onto the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
So this offense really needs to make something happen here late in the 4th with the football.
Let's go! 3-19!
On 1st down, Keenum. And that's going to be incomplete. He was looking for Adam Thielen there. And it's 2nd down.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. And let's see what the defensive coordinator may have up his sleeve here to try to get this final last stand and win this football game.
Here we go.
Off play action. Keenum. He's got it complete to Diggs, right side. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to it? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
Here we go, 3rd and 1. Gut check time on both sides. Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And the Eagles will go with an extra DB here as they prepare for a stop on 3rd.
Thinking pass all the way.
Here we go.
From the gun, here's Keenum. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
Perhaps they overthought this one a little bit. They've been running it real well on this drive, and it was 3rd and short, okay? They decided to throw the football incomplete. Yeah, they might have thought just a little bit too hard about that play selection.
One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. They're going to run it with Murray. And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. Give him 2 yards on that play. And on 4th down, they're able to convert and move the sticks. They'll look to throw. And he can't hang on to it. That would have sealed him. Instead, 2nd down. This defense has watched their lead dwindle away. This is where they really need to bow up. They executed well there.
And it's often hard after you've played really well early and then you kind of relax a little bit to step on the gas again. They just did it on the last play. Looks like they want to finish this one off.
So the incomplete pass brings up 2nd down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. And before they can run this 3rd down play, we're going to get a timeout, as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. And we're back. The offense had a chance to talk things over. We'll see what they come up with here on this next play. So following the run, we'll see what they do here on 3rd down. Back to throw. And he's got Kyle Rudolph. And he's going to have a first down as he's brought down at the 44-yard line. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues. He's back to throw, and he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Michael Kendricks in there to take him down, and the clock will roll. Back to throw. His throw incomplete. The intended receiver was Laquan Treadwell, and it's 3rd down.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. They'll run it now out of the gun. Now on 4th down, we've got a whistle here and a timeout as they get the stoppage with just over a minute to go in the game. So the offensive unit called the TO, and now we are ready to resume play. This offense converted once on 4th down earlier. Now they're out there again to try once more. Now Keenum, got to have this one. And that is incomplete, but there is a flag. And on 4th down, this is a big call.
Pass interference. Defense.
So the defense helping him out a little bit here late in the 4th.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. And when you're the one doing the chasing, you'll take a little help from the other guys, won't you?
Long drive. The defense just cannot seem to catch a break and get off the field. This is Murray. And a short gain here down to the 22. And now the Eagles going to signal for a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. second down following the run.
Let's go. Green 39.
Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against?
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
So 5 yards there as one of the big guys up front moved.
And in a 4-3 front, you got the 2 defensive tackles right near the football. I know there's a lot of movement around there, but they're always taught to have one eye on the football. Apparently, that didn't happen.
And a really long drive here, and it goes on and on.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue landing. Blue landing.
Again, it's Murray. And the Eagles are going to go ahead and take another timeout. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. Third down, Murray. He didn't get the touchdown, but he did get the first down as he's tackled at the 1. All right, so the timeout over and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense. This is not going to do it as he's stopped at the 2-yard line. No gain there, and it's going to set up 2nd and goal. And he clocks it with just over 30 seconds left. Just play after play after play on this long drive for the offense.
Let's go. Blue landing.
He'll run for it. This is Murray. And this time he's going backwards. So after the no gain on the last attempt, here they get him behind the line.
At this stage, you've got to hustle, got to get back to the line of scrimmage because you're saving that timeout to make sure you have a chance to get your kicker out there for the big shot.
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. 3 for 3 so far, and a 4th would win it. And it is good. He splits the uprights on the chip shot. And it'll be a fun time in the Twin Cities tonight. The Vikings win it. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you prime the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
That'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our hardworking crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, find us on Twitter at EA Madden NFL. From Philadelphia, good night, everybody.